All right. Well, good afternoon, Tyler. I see you doing a nice little back and forth bop to the music. Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing today? Tyler, how are you?
I'm loving that theme song.
Yeah, not too bad. Nice little hook on there. Little 25, 30-second little clip. Run that thing back and back and back while we get set up. Get some shares, some links posted out to Facebook to the peeps out there. Let y'all know that we live and direct, ready to rock and roll. I think we ready to talk week 6 against the 2-3 Pats with this 4-1 Cowboys team.
Let's
How we
do it.
feeling? How we feeling? We ready to go?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think in years past, in literally all 20 years past, so
All
you
of
going
them.
to the Patriots, just putting the L on that calendar.
Go ahead and check
Not
that one off.
this year.
Don't sell your prediction 2 minutes into the show now. We got to keep people watching.
It's the Patriots, bro.
All right, so real quick before we get too far into the game notes and some storylines to watch, we'll talk a little bit, just some quick roster updates for both teams. Yeah, you still vibing to that track, huh?
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
It took me all of like 30 seconds to find that clip for that video. I worked really hard on that. So roster updates, just some quick notes here. Nothing major on the Cowboys front, thankfully.
Yeah,
Of course, you still
pretty
got your
steamy.
people on IR, people still out for extended periods. Gallup, hopefully, we're looking to have back in the next couple weeks. He is eligible to come off of IR. He's been on for the full. He's been on for 4 out of the last 5 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
So Gallup hopefully will be back in a couple weeks, but he's still on IR. They have not designated him to return. D-Law, some reports that I heard this week sound like he could still
Thanksgiving-ish.
be. Yeah, he could still be
Yeah,
another 4 to 6 weeks, something like
they're
that.
going to let that
Um,
foot heal up, right?
yeah, Kelvin Joseph, I think we probably still have a couple more weeks. Maybe he's one that we see a
I
week or
s-
two after the bye.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw after the bye for him,
Yeah.
tentatively.
Yeah, I think Gallimore maybe somewhere in between those two guys. So he may
Mm-hmm.
be early mid-October. Maybe we get him back a little bit before D-Law, a little bit after Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tristan Hill, really no word, no update on him there with where he's at. As far as Lyle Collins, this should be the last game that he is serving under his 5-game suspension.
Yeah, my
Um,
man's got smacked down in court.
yeah, well, he
Oh,
also tried to bribe an arbitrator and, you know, a bunch of other things.
allegedly.
So yeah, whatever, man. Really the sad thing is the judge was like, look, I don't really think that the NFL should have suspended you like this because it doesn't fit in their guidelines, but like your CBA sucks and you said that they could do whatever they want. So
Right.
I can't overturn the ruling. Uh,
I don't
the judge was like,
know.
yeah, I don't think this is right, but there's nothing I can do. There's no recourse.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I had heard on the fan about there's like game incentives or something something incentive laden in his contract that he did not, while he wanted to take the suspension, he was trying to
mhm.
make sure that he could still, I guess, accrue whatever credit or
Right, right.
participation, so that he could still get his bonuses. So I mean, I guess I get why he went to court, but whatever.
Yeah, just kind of wish you would have taken the 2 games instead of the 5, but it is what it is.
Done
Um,
now.
Dorrance Armstrong, he's going to be out again this week with that ankle injury. Hopefully, we get him
Hmm.
back, next week or the week after. That's definitely a rotational piece that we'd like to have back in the mix. And our
Hmm.
guy Donovan Wilson is listed as questionable. He did log limited practices pretty much all week.
Hmm.
So that would trend to say that, we're
He could play.
probably going to see him on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any official word on in or out there. So that's definitely one that we'll want to keep an eye on before game time.
Hmm.
I'll be very interested to see. I know we've talked about it at length the last couple of weeks. I'll be very interested to see how they mix up him and, J-Ron Curse once we get to that point where they're both on the field.
Yeah.
As far as on the Patriots side, a couple big ones for the Patriots missing this week.
Yeah.
Isaiah Wynn is on their COVID list. I haven't seen anything saying that he's got any of those double negative tests that you need to be able to play the next game.
Nope.
So as of right now, it looks like there's not going to be any Isaiah Wynn, which is the left tackle for the Patriots. He's a second or third year player. He
Mm-hmm.
was, I think he was a late first round pick when they took him.
Yep.
So it's a solid guy. You know, it's a big piece from your line missing from a line that's not
Yeah, he's
already
solid.
that
Yeah.
great. And then you got Shaq Mason, their starting right guard. That's probably the best piece of your offensive line
That's
if you're the
big.
Patriots is Shaq Mason. So no Shaq Mason, no Isaiah Wynn. I know you're going to get more into that here in a minute with that trench talk. You know, you can kind of break some
Mm-hmm.
of that stuff down for us, but those are some big ones. And then, of course, a couple weeks ago, James White, their stud running back, pass catcher
Do it
extraordinaire,
all. Yeah.
Tom Brady's best friend, make
Right.
make the goat look good. James
Right.
White. Um, yeah, I said it. He makes the goat look good. They
I'm
don't
just gonna
win.
gloss over that.
They don't win that Atlanta Super Bowl without James White. That's just a fact. It is what it is.
Okay. Okay.
But we won't get too much into that because we're not playing Tom Brady this week.
Got it.
So instead of doing that and derailing the entire show for the next 5 to 7 minutes, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the time over to you for a little bit of trench talk.
That's what I'm talking about. And stop slandering Brady.
Keep the show on track.
Look, man, the trench matchup each week is always important. But this week, I believe Dallas has a particular advantage. Okay. Now, we've all talked about how great the Dallas run game is this year. And Football Outsiders has Dallas as the number one uh, offensive line, unit in football, right? So, number one run blocking team, right? They have this nice little stat called adjusted line yards, where the Cowboys are first. But to talk about how explosive the Cowboys' run game is, there's also a stat called open field yards. Okay, and this is after the running back has broken free and is running in the second levels of the defense. The Cowboys are third. Okay, and that just speaks to strong offensive line and strong running backs, right? Because it can get skewed one way or the other, depending on what's the more productive unit there. But those stats basically say what or confirm what most people are seeing each week, and it's that it's a dominant run game, right? On the flip side, New England
Dominant.
is right. On the flip side, New England is 29th. Okay.
I'm just going to voice over from the side, like when you're over there by yourself. And be like, dominant. The run game is exceptional.
Exceptional.
Go ahead.
No, you good, bro. And I mean the Patriots are abysmal.
Not abysmal.
Near 29
Say it ain't
out of
so.
29 out of 32.
Say it ain't so.
And it's both, right? They're not getting push off the line to create room for running backs, and their running backs are not, dynamic enough to get to the second level and punish, a defense, make people miss, anything of that nature. So the definite edge goes there. And I think it was without saying, even without all those extra numbers and stats there, the definite edge is going to the Dallas offensive line unit. We talked about the injury, and that's, we're not even taking into account these injuries, right? So they reasonably will perform under, these season ratings, unless they just come together and catch lightning in a bottle or something. But
so does Randy
unlikely.
Gregory get another 9 pressure Sunday like he had last week?
Yeah, and that's
Isaiah
really
Wynn's your left tackle.
right?
That's Randy's spot.
Sacks are, like we talked about, sacks can be fleeting, but the pressures are where it's at. And Mac Jones is going to be, with the hot feet all day, because it's going to come up the middle. It's going to come off the edges. They're going to attack heavily. They won't be able to run. I believe we'll get up, right, and make people pass like we have been most of the season. And then it's just going to be, who let the dogs out, because it's just going to be a field day.
Are you saying even the Baja man could rush this quarterback?
I don't want to ridiculously
That's a
disrespect
solid
the New
late
England.
late 90s reference
I don't
for
want
all my
Yeah,
20
yeah.
something year olds out there in the world.
Yeah, I don't want to just completely disrespect New England's line. The Baja men maybe, would struggle, but it's going to be bad. Um, the run defense, right? It looks equal, right? The Cowboys and the Patriots, when you look at the advanced statistics, play the run about the same. Okay. But the one thing that I found is that New England cannot stop short yardage runs.
Mm,
All right. Their opponents have had a 92% success rate on power running, right? Which is like 3 yards and shorter, I believe. So any short yardage situations, you can just chalk it up as a first down. I mean, 92% is ridiculous. I don't know how many
that's
situations
gross.
that is. Um, but at any rate, so just for comparison, Dallas is 55%.
Damn.
Okay, so New England cannot stop you if you are in short yardage situations. Um, they don't have a lot of people that scare me on the defensive side of the ball, um, from the front seven perspective. But there are two people to watch, right? You've got your interior matchup that we're always going to be watching week to week because Biotish is just, a guy that I want to watch because I want to see what's happening.
Because he
That
can't
was,
snap a
that
football?
was nice, right? That was nice.
Because he can't snap a football? You could just say
You
that.
know, uh, you know,
You could just say that.
just he does some things that are
He thinks every
undesirable.
Sunday is Christmas at the mall and Dak is Santa Claus.
Yeah, I think I said it a little nicer, but
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for,
he's
baby.
got Christian Barmore this week.
Mhm. Mhm.
High prospect in the last draft,
Mhm. Mhm.
and what do we say? He's with 10 pressures this season. Barmore, no sacks.
Yeah, somewhere right around there. I couldn't get the exact number of pressures on him, but he had, I think he had 8 pressures through week 4 or 3,
Yeah,
so he's got somewhere around that 10, 11 pressure rank. I know he doesn't have more than that because he's not in the top 5. I'll get into
right.
that in just a minute because we have
Yeah,
2 guys in the top 5.
right.
But yeah, no sacks yet on the season, but I mean, he's getting some of those pressures up the middle.
And he's talented, so it's definitely something to watch there, right? We saw Derek Brown, another talented rookie, basically become ineffective,
Mhm.
right,
Mhm.
against this line. So I'm not saying that Biadasz is going to struggle. Let's just watch, right? It's a matchup league, and we want to see
Sure.
what happens inside. If that throws off some of the game plan, if he's tearing anything up in the backfield, getting penetration. So we'll definitely watch that. But I think the more probably what the the Cowboys are keying in on is where's Matt Judon before the ball snapped. Um, I had to think. I would guess that Judon Belichick is probably going to run Judon over Steele, right? Because
Mhm.
if you want to
Mhm.
attack part of this Cowboys line, you either do it in the interior or you try Terrence Steele. Now,
Right.
some people have tried Terrence Steele and failed. Um, Judon's pretty good pass rusher,
He's a good
right?
player. He's a good
Right?
player.
He's an above average pass rusher.
He's a good player.
So definitely going to see what that looks like there. Do the Cowboys leave him one on one? Do we give him a little help? Is there adjustments during the game if he gets beat? Um, those two are the guys that are going to cause you some issues, right? If there are issues,
If.
uh, if because I do believe they're overmatched. Um, this is going to have to be one of those Belichick mastermind scheme games, completely confused Dak, and just give his line that extra half second to get to the quarterback. Um, Otherwise, it's just going to be a pretty easy day in the office. But that's what I'm watching in there. I think they're overmatched this week. The Patriots are, but they got some guys, so anything can happen on any given Sunday. But I do not like their chances in the trenches. Um, I
Good little
mentioned,
Jamie
yeah,
Foxx reference there.
yeah, and
Like
I mentioned Barmore, but there's some other rookies, that we want to watch in the game on the Patriot side of the ball. Talk to me about mac and cheese, baby.
Mac Jones, everybody's favorite something. I don't know.
Oh, very convincing.
Yeah, I don't know. He's favorite something. I don't know. I don't know.
Playing all right.
He's really not playing badly,
Playing all right.
right?
He's an average
And
quarterback.
I think that through 5 weeks of the season, Mac Jones is kind of who everybody thought he was, right?
Exactly who we
Which
thought he
I
was.
mean, I guess if he's a first round quarterback and you knew who he was and this is who he is, then okay, Belichick can maybe build a team around him and win with him eventually. I don't know that it's going to happen in the super short future, but just kind of looking at him year to date. So 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions through 5 games.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, he's 1 touchdown, 1 pick every game. He will turn the ball over. He will give it up. I think he's taken 11 sacks, so he's been sacked about 2 times a game as well. So I mean, you could definitely get to him. Mac Jones is not the most mobile guy in the world. He's got decent footwork in the pocket. Really where you look at Mac Jones and his strength, and I guess if you're going to be mildly concerned about anything, it's just that you have to be careful in the short and intermediate passing game, right? So
Timing, accuracy.
yeah, if you've got, Nelson Aguilar, Jacoby Myers, Damian Harris out of the backfield, kind of running those little, whether it's like a little dig route or the slants or,
Options,
yeah,
drags, all
right,
that.
right. Any of that stuff like that to kind of mix you up, create some traffic,
Mm-hmm.
that's where he's going to complete most of his passes. When you look at him season to date, 71% completion. So he's over 70% completion on his passes, but again, most of those are short, intermediate throws. He's not really pushing the ball downfield, and when he does, it doesn't look super great.
Right. It's the yards per attempt, and that average depth of target that's
Right.
abysmal for him, and that's
Right.
probably by design. But I
I
mean,
mean, it's who he
it's what
is.
it is. Yeah.
It's who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, if that's what you're going to draw your game plan around and you think you can win with that guy, he cuts down on the turnovers a little bit as he becomes, a more seasoned veteran, then
Yeah.
sure, maybe he can do something in this league. But you do got to give him credit where it's due as far as the accuracy piece. He is a very accurate quarterback. Even when you look into some of the more analytic stats, which by the way, I got to tell you, I really love that you're getting into the analytics game now. It's I kind of feel like I've been alone over here just talking about all these random stats that nobody cares
Oh.
about. So,
Mm.
I'm happy to see you jumping on the analytics train. But when you look at actual pass accuracy from an analytics standpoint,
Yeah.
right, which is a little bit deeper than just your completion percentage, right? It's really more of like an expected completion
Right.
percentage.
CPOE. Yeah.
Right. I think he's 6th in the league right now, through 5 games. So he's right there on that fringe top 5 when it comes to your CPOE, your accuracy stats there. I believe Dak is 3rd right now.
Yep.
So anybody who pretends like Dak isn't accurate, just
stop. You're not doing
right,
your homework. It's
right,
okay. You can say
right,
that, but also
right,
say that you're just not doing your
right,
homework. It's
right.
fine.
We're just gonna keep stacking up real stats, analytic stats, whatever
Right.
stats you
You
want,
can
right?
keep
We're gonna
talking about
keep
your
stacking them up
feelings.
and telling them we're better than you. Um, Yeah, and then just a note on before we move too far off the rookie piece here. I know we kind of talked about Barmore there a minute ago, but I
Mm-hmm.
did just kind of want to found a next gen stat that was kind of talking about those pressures and just in
Mm-hmm.
comparison to our 2 rookies that are really making a lot of noise on the defensive end. So he
Mm-hmm.
said Barmore's got, he said, around that 10 pressures, no sacks yet. When you look at the top 5 rookies with pressures so far year to date through 5 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
we've got 2 of those top 5. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got Micah, who's not even a
Smoking on
full
top
time.
fives.
Tonight, tonight.
Go ahead.
Little Kendrick
My bad.
Lamar
My bad.
remix for everybody. Yeah, no big deal. We'll just derail the whole show and sing a 5-minute song, and nobody will know what we're doing. Then we'll get flagged for copyright infringement, and we'll never do a show again.
Smoking on your top
It's gonna be
fives
great. Really
tonight.
appreciate you throwing that in there for us. But so you've got Micah, who's number 2 behind Jason Owe of Baltimore, who is an edge rusher.
Yeah.
He's got 16 pressures. He doesn't even play edge every game. And he's got
Mm-hmm.
16 pressures, second most in the league for rookies. Osa, big man up the middle,
Biggie.
has 13 up
Mm-hmm.
the middle. So we've got, when you really look at Osa versus Barmore, Barmore, like you said, was a guy that was a highly touted prospect. A lot of people had him as the number 1 defensive tackle in the class. Late first round, early second, ends up going early second to the Patriots. Oso was a guy that a lot of people, myself included, liked a little bit better in the, early to mid fourth round.
Yeah.
Cowboys took him late third round. And, at least, year to date, he looks like the better player. He looks like he's performing better. Maybe the team's a little bit better, but I don't know if their defense is better. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So two guys that have been asked to do a lot, as rookies in the interior line, definitely should be a fun thing to watch there as far as, our rookie watch.
Mm-hmm.
Man, do the Patriots really have a top 5 defense? Because we kind of let me set this up, right? So we kind of did this with Carolina a couple weeks ago,
Right.
right?
That's exactly where I'm going.
Carolina comes in. We got the number one defense. We
Right.
got the pass rush. We got
Right.
the run defense. We're great. They didn't play anybody, right? So just to kind of stack up the quarterbacks that the Patriots have played so far, they played Tua week 1, Zach Wilson week 2, Jameis Winston week 3. Then you had Brady, right, and the Bucks, which was a close game. And then you got Davis Mills
Davis
out
Mills.
there in Houston. So when you look at them 5 weeks into the season, it looks like they're a top 5 defense. But are they a top 5 defense against this Cowboys offense?
When you dive a little deeper, go deeper, you find that the quarterbacks that they've played help out that defensive ranking because that lets them be 8th in defensive DVO, right? The DVOA stats, right?
Mm-hmm,
Against
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
pass. Or yeah, passing defense. But their rush defense is 23rd. Right? So do they have a top 5 D? No. They're not terrible, but their ranking is very much boosted by the fact that they have played subpar quarterbacks. And when they played Brady went 22 of 46 or something like that, right? So like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
50% or right under, maybe right under 50. I may have those numbers wrong on the attempts there, but right around 50%. No touchdowns, no picks, right? So I just don't. The numbers are telling me that their pass defense is to be respected, but not feared. I mean, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
test them,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
and their run defense is absolutely trash, and we know we can get that. So this is gonna be. I personally think this will be one of those games where they'll come out and take that little hit. Right, they're gonna drop from like 8 to 12 because they actually going to play another good quarterback or great quarterback and there's Brady is we kind of talked about it's kind of an outlier
Right. Belichick
because
has 20 years of
Belichick
Brady
knows
experience, right?
him. There's some different emotions around the
Right,
game,
right, right.
just
Everybody
Dak
talked
is
about how hard the Patriots planned, how much they worked,
right.
how much they prepared for that game,
And
So see,
I
we'll
don't
see.
believe that they will be able to play a high
No,
level of pass defense for 4 quarters against
I
the
think I would
Cowboys.
tend
It's
to
not going to
agree.
happen.
Real quick, we got a break in the action here. We got
Boom, 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 boom.
some super astute analysis from our girl Maddie out there. Wow, I love football. Go sports. I just don't know how we
Very,
could have completed the show without that. Thank you
very.
so much for your insight, Maddie. I kind of want to end the show right here because I really think that's where we need to do it.
Go
But
sports. All right, see
there's still
ya.
there's still a couple more things we need to discuss though. So we're gonna have to press on. I'm not sure how we're gonna recover from that, but
Shout
we
out.
will find a way.
Shout
Shout out
out.
Miss Maddie. Thank you for
Yeah.
tuning in,
Shout
homie.
out Daddy Bomb. Thanks for
Um,
tuning in.
so I got a crazy idea here, crazy thought that came across my I'm gonna keep calling it the tweet box. I like doing that.
Let's do it.
Came across the tweet box earlier this week when I was just kind of fishing around for some stats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was looking at the NFL Next Gen Stats Twitter page, and they put out this idea that Dak Prescott may be getting healthier week to week. Right. Which was
Talk
kind of
about
my
it.
initial thought. He threw almost 70 passes the first game, 400 yards, a handful of touchdowns, and he's looking even better. But again, when we look at some of the more analytic stats, I mean, I think you can make a case for that. So this
Okay.
stat is talking about how he's pushing the ball downfield and throwing the ball on the run. And just for reference for everybody, throwing the ball on the run, according to next gen stats, means that he's moving at a speed of 8 miles per hour or faster. So throwing on the run, 8 miles an hour or faster. So the first 2 weeks of the season, he was averaging 6.3 air yards per attempt, which is okay. And he was running or throwing on the run about 8% of the time. So, 92% of his drop or his passes were straight drop back passes for the
Mm-hmm.
most part.
Mm-hmm.
Weeks 3 through 5, he goes up to 8.6 air yards per attempt. So almost 2.5 more yards downfield every time he throws the ball,
Mm-hmm.
which may not sound like a lot, but when you average that out over
Right.
30, 40
Over like
times a game,
35 attempts. Yeah, it's more.
right, 2.5 yards is not a small number talking
Yeah.
about pushing it down the
Yeah.
field. And then throwing it on the run, he's almost doubled that rate. So he's gone from 8% to 16% throwing on the run over the last 3 weeks.
Well, that's not
Uh,
okay.
and the last
Okay.
3 weeks, we've been dominant,
Okay.
right? And to go even just a little bit deeper, right? When you talk about pushing the ball 10 plus yards down the field, weeks 1 and 2, when he was averaging that 6.5, he was only going 10 plus yards about 2% of the time, 1.7%.
Mm-hmm.
Again, in weeks 3 through 5, he's ticked that up to almost 20% of the time.
We're
So
taking them
almost,
shots, baby.
yeah, right. 17% of his throws, 1 out of every 5, he's taken a 10 plus yard shot,
Yeah.
which is something that I know we actually kind of talked about the first couple games of the season was that, we wanted him to push it a little bit more, kind of hit some of those big plays. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we're starting to see that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's Dak getting more healthier or everybody just getting into a better groove because they haven't played football together in so long, or, Kellen Moore's just in his bag right now. Whatever the culmination of that is, Dak is getting better. And he started the season off pretty damn good.
It's scary. He's progressing literally week to week, snap to snap. It feels like.
Nuts,
Um,
man.
yeah, dude is gonna dominate the Patriots.
Nuts, man.
That's just my opinion. He's going to dominate them.
Yeah, I think so.
What do the Cowboys got to do to win this game?
I will say that the Cowboys win. And this is going to sound kind of generic. We talked about this before, right? So I'm doing this whole build up thing. There's really nothing super insightful here, so I'm just going to say it. Right. Drum roll, please. Super generic statement. Look, man, I think it's pretty
Those are
simple, right?
good.
The Cowboys are the better team. They are.
Right.
The Cowboys win if they continue to take what the defense gives them. That's really where I'm at. That's what we've seen the last few games. We've leaned heavily on the running game, but teams have been giving us the running game, right? And when it's been time for Dak to show up and throw, I mean, all he's done is complete 70 something percent of his passes and throw 3 touchdowns every game except for one, right? So yeah, I really think that, and I guess to kind of go a little bit deeper dive into that,
Go deeper.
there's this idea of like this mastermind, Bill Belichick who plays head games with you, right? And teams get so far into their prep that they overthink it and they start to, pull away from what they do. And then they try to go back to what they do and they can't even do that well. Case in point, the Rams in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Sean McVay flips the whole offense on his head, can't get anything going. Then they try to revert back and they're screwed. It's too late. And that game was terrible. And
Mm-hmm.
they had no offense going whatsoever in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the Cowboys win if they just stick to their game plan. They continue to take what the defense gives. Don't let the fact that you're 0-6 against Bill Belichick all time, get into your head and tell you that you've got to do some crazy outlandish stuff because you're the better
Mm-hmm.
team. Just
You
go out
are.
there and beat them.
Yeah.
What about you, man? Cowboys win if
Um, it's red zone efficiency, right? I see a very likely scenario where the Cowboys walk up and down between the 20s with the short passing, or actually middle of the field passing in the run game. And then when you get into the red zone, the field shrinks, and their secondary is decent.
they have a good defense, but it's top
Yeah,
five.
yeah, their
It's
secondary
not
is
top five.
decent, right? It's a shorter field, so that pass rush can get there just a bit quicker, just a little bit, right? And McCourty, is a very, very nice quarterback down there, right, on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
If they stop, the Cowboys a few times and make them kick three instead of, going in, I could see some issues. But the Cowboys get or make sure they're efficient in the red zone and get touchdowns, they can easily win the game because the
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones is not going to put up points like that. They're just not. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's so yeah, it's red zone efficiency, which has kind of been a theme, the last couple of years with the
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys. They've been doing
Mm-hmm.
all right this
Mm-hmm.
year, but
Mm-hmm.
that's
Much better this
definitely
year. Much
right.
better this year.
So definitely the idea there. And I'd like to see him get out to a little quicker start. These last couple of weeks, we're kind of hanging around in the first half with the teams, right? So
Man, I gotta say that narrative kind of kills me a little bit. I know
yeah,
there's been a couple, yeah, because I know there's been a couple of the little,
it's like the
turnovers.
miscues. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you actually look at it, you know who scored the first most quarter points in the NFL this year? The Dallas Cowboys.
Mm.
So
Now
you
they
can slow start all
consistently
you want.
score. No,
Yeah, I
it's
get what
not
you're
that
saying.
they're
I do.
not
It's the little miscues
scoring.
and stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
I just think we got to make sure that we look at both sides of that piece, right? Say, yeah, we have the little stuff there. Maybe we have a fumble, and we don't want that, right? I'm not like
Hmm.
dismissing it, but we're still scoring more than everybody else in the first quarter, even with those miscues. So we clean that stuff up, and we're just going to keep scoring more. So I'm not super concerned about it until it starts turning into 0 point first quarters. That's just me personally. Um,
Mm.
you got another thought on that, or are you ready to go Cowboys lose if?
Nah, because the Cowboys lose if, uh, yeah, they lose if they kick field goals and turn the ball over.
Yeah, they can't
I
punch it in, right?
know
They can't
it's the
punch it in.
same every week, but with that,
We're
but
the
like
better team every week,
they're
right?
better, right?
Right.
So like the only way I feel like they're going to lose is if we, trade field goals for touchdowns and give possessions away.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think that's pretty similar to where I'm at. I think if I'm the Patriots this week, game plan wise, I'm kind of going into this week looking at it and saying I want to hold the Cowboys under 25,
yeah,
right? And even that might not be enough because the Patriots are averaging like 18 points a game.
right. But that's where
But
their
you
chance
you
lies.
right, and you could see against a Cowboys team that's giving up 400 yards almost of offense every game, like we could get some scores, right?
Hmm.
But I think if I'm the Patriots, I'm looking to keep the score less than 25, and I want to turn the ball over twice, or take the
Hmm.
ball away twice, I guess, if I'm the Patriots.
Hmm.
So I could draw up a scenario where again, Cowboys kind of get in their own heads. They're matched up against Bill Belichick. Um, they make some mistakes, to your point, whether it's early on or later in the game.
Hmm.
Turn the ball over a couple times and, the Patriots get a 25-21 type win, right? 24-21, something like that.
Yeah,
I could
something
see
close.
that. I
Yeah.
don't I don't think that's going to happen.
But that's
Um,
their road to victory, though.
right. If I'm the
That is
Patriots,
how they
that's my
win.
game plan, right?
Yeah.
Keep them in that 20 to 25 point range and turn the ball over a
Hmm.
couple times.
Hmm.
Um, ready for predictions?
Yeah. Let me hear
All
it.
right. So I do believe, in fact, that this will be the first time that the Cowboys will beat Bill Belichick. Like I said earlier, they are 0-6 against him all time. Look, man, they're a better team, right? I mean, you could stack up whatever you want. You could talk about Bill Belichick. You could talk about whoever. The Cowboys are a better team.
Hmm.
And I think that this will be one of the first times, if not the first time in the history of Cowboys Patriots with Bill Belichick at the helm, that we're not really at a disadvantage from a coaching standpoint.
No.
I'm not going to say that these guys are better coaches than Bill Belichick, right? But I mean, Kellen Moore's doing his thing. I'll take him over Josh McDaniels, whatever he's doing right
Yeah,
now
I'm gonna
with the
call it
roster, right?
at best. I'm gonna call it, or at worst, I'm gonna call it even.
Right, right. So I think that this is the first time that you really can go in and be okay with leaning on your coaching against Bill Belichick and the
Yep, the
Patriots.
preparation is gonna be there.
Um, I do think it's going to be another double-digit win. I think Vegas has the line at like 3.5 or something like that. I don't know if we just giving Bill Belichick and the Patriots and their home stadium a whole hell of a lot of credit or what we're doing here. But I've got it at I'm going to go 27-16 Dallas.
Mm.
So an 11-point victory. Um, Man, I just don't think that Mac Jones is good enough. We're not going to get beat by a rookie quarterback. I don't.
Yeah,
Yep, that's it. What do you got?
I have 30-16.
Oh, okay.
I
So they're going to
think,
kick one more field goal.
yeah, they're gonna get 6 scores, right? 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals.
Okay, I had it 3-2.
The Cowboys will give up some yards, right? So they'll give up a touchdown and they'll give up some yards. Mac Jones will get them in field goal range a few times.
So you got them 3
Uh,
field goals and a touchdown.
exactly.
That's what I did
Yeah.
too.
They'll get about 3 or 4 scoring possessions. I'm gonna
Yep,
say one of them will be a touchdown, but
sure.
most of the time they're gonna kick field goals. Yeah, I got them 30-16.
Cool.
Cowboys win.
Man, we need to have some closer matchups here so we can argue about some of this stuff. I'm tired of us being like in unison on everything. Doesn't make for very good
Yeah.
radio. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
just start like doing the Stephen A. Smith thing and just start like barking at you for no reason, just outlandish opinions. What Dak's a top five Tyler. Where in the stats of the show that Dak is a top five
It's
quarterback? Explain it to me.
preposterous. It's
Yeah, right. All of that.
preposterous.
All of that. We definitely we're gonna do a Stephen A. bit one of these
Come on,
days.
Stephen A. Come on.
All right, cool. Well, I have a soccer game to go to. So I think I'm good. You got anything left for the peeps?
That's it, man. Appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Love it when y'all comment on the show. We'll see y'all after the game.
Yeah, boy. All right. Anything for a bit? Signing out. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill.
Yay,
Do the
yay.
thing. Grow the show. Appreciate you.